This beautiful autumn junk journal was created by my dear friend Rhonda, also known as Rhonda without an H, as one of her design team projects using my digital kit called Autumn Serenity, and I will treasure this journal forever. Rhonda sadly passed on May 30th after battling cancer for about 2 years, leaving a big hole in our tight-knit junk journal community. Girlfriend, you will be missed dearly by many of us. What I truly admired about Rhonda was her unwavering spirit. She never gave up and continued to spread positivity and inspiration through her channels to thousands of viewers. So this video is dedicated to honoring sweet Rhonda. She would not have wanted this to be a sad or depressing video. So let's channel her positivity and uplifting spirit and create something beautiful together. So Rhonda has countless wonderful tutorials on her channel, and I encourage you to check them out. And I chose one of them for us to follow together, adding our own spin on it. We will be creating paper bag cards, which I've actually never done. A project Rhonda did as part of her design team work for me. I will link Rhonda's video below. And as of filming my video today, Rhonda's channel is still online. I hope it remains active for a long time, as it also provides income for her family, who likely have numerous medical bills to pay. So let's continue to support her family by watching her videos. So Rhonda uses these kind of paper bags that have this part here on the bottom that folds out to make it wider. I only have this torn one, so I actually don't want to use this. But Rhonda's method is to glue these two parts down because that automatically creates a pocket. And then this part can be folded in half like this. And you can decorate that. You have a pocket here, and then it opens up and you can decorate this. You could even sew in some pages here, and then you have a little journal. This is quite versatile. But as I said, I don't want to use this torn paper bag, especially not for this kind of a video. So instead, I'm going to use the only other paper bag that I actually found at the moment, which is incredible. You would think a junk journaler would have more paper bags, but for some reason I just don't. So this one here does not have this white part on the bottom. It doesn't matter, we can still make this work. So I can just fold over a part here, and I do want my card to be somewhat square. So I'm actually not going to fold in that much. I'm not going to measure it. I don't need this to be exact, but I kind of want it to look like a square. Yeah, not quite there, but I think this will be good enough. I'm just going to use my little iron here. I get questions sometimes whether this iron is actually hot. No, it's not. This is a vintage iron. It's actually Austrian. It's called Bugolette. I found it at a flea market. It was an incredible find. It wasn't even very expensive. And of course, I don't heat it up. It's heavy, so it works really well to score paper. So I can decide whether I want to cut this part off here to make it all even, but I don't actually even see the necessity. So I'm just going to line these two up and crease that edge. Okay, so we have a tuck spot here, we have a pocket here. We will cover this up, we will make a nice front page, and I'm just trying to decide whether I want to sew around it. No, I actually don't need to. So next I want to add some paint to my paper bag, and I chose some colors that I think Rhonda would like. So we have a soft pastel pink. It's called Princess Pink. Oh, that's perfect. Then we have this green, which is called Fresh Foliage. And then we have this salmon color and buff titanium. And I also have some white here. This happens to be chalk paint, but it doesn't matter. I think I'll start off with the white. I'll put it straight onto my brayer and just roll it over my paper bag. If you don't have a brayer, just use a brush or a foam brush, or even like a card with which you can scrape the paint. Lots of options. I'm not looking for an even coat. I just dried this layer with my heat tool. I think it's important to dry the layers because otherwise, if we get too much wet paint on this thin paper bag, it will probably tear. So next I will use this salmon color. So next let's try the green. Don't want a lot of this green. And actually, I would love it to be more pastel green. So let's add some white over it while it's still wet. And then we'll add this Princess Pink. Love that name. Whoops. Since this is too pink for me now, I would like to add some more white on top. Basically, you can keep covering your paper bag until you're happy with what you see. So after drying this, I will do the exact same thing on this outer side. So we have both sides covered in the paint. And I changed my mind about the sewing because I think it just adds such a beautiful detail. So obviously I do not want to close my pocket here. So I'm going to stitch around here. Then we will automatically stitch closed this tuck spot, then along here and along here. If you do not want to sew, then all you do is put glue here and just glue the flap down. Okay, so I stitched 2 rows of running stitches around my paper bag. So this is the inside and this is the outside. And as a focal point for the outside, I have a freebie for you. This is what it looks like. So we have women from the 1930s that are hugging sideways, because that was my intuition after hearing this sad news. I just wanted to give Rhonda a huge hug. I wanted to give her family a huge hug, and anybody else who has known and loved her. I think we all need hugs, right? So that's what inspired this freebie. So I want to choose one of these images for my front cover. Thinking either this one or this one. Maybe I'll use this one because it's so nice and summery. So I'll go ahead and cut this one out, and you can find this freebie on my Ko-fi site, which is linked below. I left a white border around the photo, and as you can see, I also stitched around it again twice. So this will go on the cover here. And then Rhonda always loved to use vintage book pages, and she also really loved this German old font. So I want to include that here on the background as well. So I'm going to use my tearing ruler. So that book page definitely needs to be inked up. I'll use my walnut stain for that. So we can glue all of these layers on top of each other. I'm using my art glitter glue, which is my favorite glue. Can always depend on it. Grabs really fast, does not warp my paper. And I want to make this really cheerful, so I'm going to use my pink chalk marker. Alternatively, you could use some stamps and stamp them in some fun colors. This has a rectangular top, so it's really great to just make some shapes. Then I also want to add a sentiment. I'm going to choose one from this collection by Stampers Anonymous and Tim Holtz called Noteworthy CMS 446. I will link this for you. I'm going to choose one that might seem odd. I'm choosing Love with All Your Heart because I believe Rhonda was someone that definitely loved with all her heart. And it showed in every single one of her videos. She had a love for life, a love for crafting, a love for the junk journal community and her junk journal friends. So that's why I think this is such a fitting sentiment. Then I want to add some foam squares underneath because I want this to stand out a little bit. Oh no, look what happened. I got pink all over it. Is that a happy accident? Actually, it's fine. I like that it's not stark white. Okay, happy accident. I feel like we could also add a little bit of lace up here and a button to create a dynamic between this and the lace. It would have to be like a bright white to work with the sentiment here. No, I think I want something irregularly shaped. Maybe a piece from this one. That could be an option. Ooh, a heart. Kind of big, but I do like the idea of a heart. This feels like Rhonda to me with the heart. So now I'm not sure the button will still work. Oh yeah, why not? That is actually cute. Is that the right button? I'll go with this one. And we could use this pink thread, which goes with the chalk marker. And put that underneath the button. And maybe also use that same thread to go through the button. Yes, I like that. So then I'll take that same thread, oops. Start from the top and just go through the holes a few times because this is quite thin. And then we can tie a double knot. And I'll cut the ends short. And then we just glue everything on. And for the inside here for our tuck spot, I found the perfect piece of lace. So we have some hearts here and the width works really well. So I'll cut that so that I'm not going to cover my stitching. So again, I'm just going to glue that on. Then I'm going to take this image from the freebie and I'm going to mount it onto a light green background so that it gets a little bit more stability and another nice frame like that. And on the back side, I'm going to stamp this heart. I got this a few years ago at a craft flea market. And I'm going to use Distress Ink Picket Fence. And I want to add another sentiment on this card, which is live your story. And the reason why I'm choosing this one is because Rhonda was super courageous and she was very outspoken about her illness and a lot of aspects that went with it and how she was doing and how she was coping with everything. And I admire her a lot for that as well, because that's not easy to talk about, to make public, because I'm sure you feel so vulnerable inside. And I think through sharing that, she gave other women courage to go through whatever they're going through in their lives. I have so much respect for that. To match the front, I am again going to add some of these pink rectangles. This time I'm making sure that these are dry before I go near it again. And I'm adhering this without the foam squares. So this is a little bit more flat. And that can go in this tuck spot. And then for this side, I want to make a wonky heart. I have this paper that I made in another video. I think I made this at the end of my last jelly plate printing session. So I will link that video for you below as well. So I'm going to turn this around and then draw a wonky heart. We'll cut that out. I think we need another small one. Let's try doing that without actually drawing it first, just because I'm being lazy. And I'm hoping it will be a little more wonky that way as well. Oh yeah, this is wonky. Okay, let's ink those edges up so that we actually see them better. Let's make a little collage underneath. Let's add some book page. Okay. What else? How about some music sheet? We have some fabric here. Looks like I glued two pieces together. Ooh, I really like this. Yeah, that goes really well with the black and white photo there, so that's perfect. Usually I would not keep fabric scraps in my box of paper scraps, but I put this here intentionally because it would remind me to use fabric in a paper collage, so that really paid off now. I'm not sure about this piece. Yep, why not? I think it works. There we go. So we have a pocket here. We could add some journaling inside here. We could add a letter for somebody and send this card to someone. Love this idea of a paper bag card. And there's also various ways we could add it to our journal. So let's pretend this was a journal, although this is my junk journal planner, for example, here. So one way, of course, would be to bind it into the journal, just like a journal page. And then we have it like a separate journal page. Another option would be to glue it onto a journal page, either on the three sides and have the top be a pocket here, or on these three sides and have another pocket here. And as mentioned previously, we would of course make a whole separate journal out of it by sewing in a signature in the middle here. So various options. Rhonda also shares some of those in her video. So I highly encourage you to check out Rhonda's video, and there's hundreds more videos you can check out. You can find all the links below. So in the name of Rhonda, have fun with this paper bag pocket. Love you guys.
Mwah, mwah.